everyone. This is the second video now in the getting started videos. The first video that I made was all about the blackout masks, and I was showing you the different options that are available to you for adults and children, talking about the cost and the different kind of features they have and which ones might work best for you. So hoping that that was a helpful video. And now hopefully you have your mask, you're ready to get started. And the next thing I want to talk to you about are the colored pieces of paper that we use for this work. So I like to start with using brightly colored pieces of paper to help people at first begin to see colors. We want people to be able to perceive color. So really large pieces of paper are great. Like, see how big these pieces are? They could even be bigger if you like. They can be, you know, an 8.5 by 11 size or smaller, something that someone can sit in, a very small card of color that someone can sit, contemplatively hold in their hand and move around and sense. That's fine as well. The reason we like the bigger colors, I like these big sheets of paper because often when the ability to see opens, it's like a very tiny little window, little aperture, or a vortex or something that a person is perceiving through. And so therefore a big piece is better. So if you're trying to show someone a little tiny thing and they've got only a little tiny window that they're looking through, the chances of seeing it are reduced. That is just what we find. That is not the case with every person, so I am generalizing, but we usually start with these big sheets of colored paper, and we also want them to be very bright, vivid colors, because when people first begin to see, often it's a bit like they're looking through shadows. It can seem dark, like the color red might look more like brown or a burnt orange. The colors often look muddied or dark, and they won't see them if they're really dark. Like, I would never show someone a navy blue, for example, or a really dark purple, because it would be hard for them to see. I also don't show them black or white in the beginning when they're first learning, because that also can be confusing, especially when you're asking them to see colors. You're saying, tell me the color, and you're showing them black or white. So these colors work really well, and of course any other colors, you know, start with the primary colors. Those are good. And I want to tell you, show you some examples, because sometimes I say to people we want bright, vivid colors, and they'll come to my trainings or they're practicing at home with really washed out colors. So I want to show you what I mean by that. So for example, so here are 3 different yellows, and you can really see which ones would be the best choice, can't you? Like, clearly it's not this one, is it? It's not this one on the front. That one's very washed out, and it might be a lot harder to see. You know, a person might, if they were able to see it, the chances are they might think it's white. So we want to help people to become very accurate and trust what they're seeing and be able to feel the energy from the colors as well. So these 2 would be good choices. They're both very bright yellows. So as an example, if you're showing someone pink, look at the difference. You see, so it's really obvious which color pink is going to be a better choice. The kids, when you work with little kids, they're often taking the colors and they're kind of scrunching them all up and doing all kinds of things with their hands and doing this and this. And so it's really great sometimes to work with these sheets of foam. So they're nice bright colors, and you can bend them and fold them, and they kind of last forever. They stand up to a lot of abuse which is really great. I tried something that I want to show you in case it occurs to you to do this. I thought this was a great idea. I laminated some of the colors because I was just going through so many pieces of paper. Now I had kids will even tear them in half and all sorts of things. So I thought this was such a great idea, but I found that when people were first learning, that it was harder for them to perceive the color. And I think this is probably because plastic is known to block energetic transmissions. I've been working with crystals for years, and I know that if you throw a piece of plastic over your quartz crystals or any other crystal, it's a lot more challenging to perceive their energies, and it can block them, impede them. It's not going to block them completely, but we want to make this as easy as possible. We want to remove any impediments, and we want this session to happen with as much ease as we can. So laminating, not such a good idea. I found that kids weren't able to perceive the color nearly as well. You know, I would show them this one, which is laminated, and then this, which is a very similar tone. And I would hand them this one, which is not laminated, and sure enough, they put their little fingers on there, and or I'm moving it in their aura, and they will see this. They will see this piece, but not the laminated piece. So those were a couple of things I wanted to mention because that's really important. Because you want to have success. You know, of course, you want people to start believing in themselves and have lots of confidence in themselves and in the process, and know that it's possible. So this would also be very good. Excellent color. Excellent color. And these are all from the dollar store, so you don't have to invest a lot of money. Here's another one, and it's great to take these and cut them in half or buy duplicates of them so that you can do a lot of different techniques, like where you're having them match up colors, or where you are holding one color in the front and one color in the back, or you have you're putting colors under their feet or rubbing a color up and down the spine. There's so many different things you can do, and sometimes I let them hold the same color, one in each hand. So it's nice to have multiple pieces of the same color. And another thing I want to mention is that for some people, it's easier for them to perceive something that's three-dimensional. They're able to sense the color of an object, three-dimensional object, better than they would be able to sense from just a two-dimensional piece of paper. I'm not sure what the reason for this is, but so I have things like this, like really bright, like this is like neon bright. And so I've got, these balls that I use regularly. You could hand them any object, anything, these kind of things. Just hand the person an object. You could hand them this. This is a nice squishy ball. You can hand them that. And so often they will see the color when you hand them something that's larger, that's three-dimensional, that they can hold, that they can squeeze, which is interesting. We don't know exactly why. Maybe that's coming, and whether it is or not, I don't mind. The thing that's really great to use are colored markers for a couple of reasons. For one thing, so easy to get, very bright colors. And I would save these, especially when they're out of ink, like save them, because they're going to be great for your work, for your practice. And that way, when you don't have a blindfolded child swinging around, they pull the tops off them sometimes, and you don't want to send them home, with colors all over their clothes, or you end up with color all over your furniture or something like that. So these work really great, and I find that if at the end of a session your adult or your child isn't seeing yet, it's great to give them a nice passive activity that they can sit and do, where there's no expectation placed on them. They don't, there's nothing they have to do. They're just relaxing. They're leaving the mask on for a longer period of time, which is also really good. And then they just sit and draw with these brightly colored markers on a white sheet of paper. And for a lot of people, they often will start to sense the colors after some time. So that's a good thing to remember also. So I hope this helps. Next video, I'm going to be talking about shapes and letters and perceiving images. So thanks so much. See you again soon.